the next topic, which is the SharePoint permissions. Okay, so in SharePoint we give access to users and we have different permissions, and then this is how we control the access of the people who are dealing with SharePoint. So permissions can be set onto the site level, subsite level, list library, and even at the list item level. Okay. So let's go through that. Let's see how do we manage the security or basically groups. So this is our site. So for this particular site, if you want to see the permission, you have to go to site permissions, and then it will tell you where what all permissions and the users are there. So for example, who are the site owners? Okay, so it says my name and then what type of access I have. I have full control. If I say full control, that means I can do anything on the site. I can delete the site, I can create subsites, I can create list items, I can create lists, I can delete lists, and so on. So the complete control I have on this site. If we talk about the site members basically do not have full control. Usually they are given contribute access. So when you say contribute, that means those members will be able to create list. They will be able to basically contribute to the content in a way that they can create list, delete list item, and do whatever on that list. Okay, so on the site they can create subsites, but they cannot delete the sites. So only the full control people can do. And site visitors are basically just read-only people. I mean, they have read-only access. So that means they just can read the documents and read the site, go to the site, but they can't add item, they cannot add list, create list items, they cannot create subsites and so on. So broadly, these are the permissions for a site, and then we can see the advanced permission settings also. So, and before going there, you can actually share the site to somebody who is external or internal. So you can click on share, and then you can add users to the groups. So for instance, you can, if you want to share this to, let's say, one of the group I have here. So I can share it with a group. That means the group can have more than one or more person, or I can do it to an individual person. So if I have to share it to Melissa, then I can select what type of access I want. By default, it is read. But if I want Melissa to have full control, I can select that, or edit is like contribute. I can select whatever permission I want, and then a message, let's say, hi, welcome to the site or something. And then I can add her. If I don't want to send email, I can just deselect and then send. So that will add Melissa to this site as a edit contributor. So apart from this, there are some other advanced permission settings. So if you want to do more complex stuff, you can click on the advanced, and it will show you what permissions are set on the site. So you can see these are nothing but SharePoint groups. So SharePoint groups basically refers to a group of people who are there, and you see the permission level which are assigned. So this particular person who are members are given edit permission, just contribute, and the owners have full control and visitors have read access, read permission level. So I can share the site from here as well also. So I can say grant permission, and from here I can invite people. Shared with will tell me to whom this site is shared, and then I can, if I want to add a new people, I can do. So I can do, for example, I can do people who are there in the SharePoint like Melissa, or I can add SharePoint group also. Okay, and then on the show option, I can send an email. Otherwise, from here I can select. Now here it gives me some other permissions to select from. So design and then edit and contribute. So these are different. But if you want to read, then you can read and then share it. So email will be sent with the link and then to these people. This is how you share the site. Okay, one more person who's above the full control people, which is called site collection administrator. So these are the super users of the site. So now these people have full control over the site. So they have for full above the full control also. So they can create sites and then they can delete site collections and do more other than full control guys. So full control limits the users for this site, but site collection admin can create so many sites like this. Okay, so that's a superior authority. If you want to create a group, you can create a group from here. So let's say that you want to create a group for finance people. So you can say name the this group as finance. You have to name who is the group owner, basically who will be managing this group, and the membership request. So the people, if you don't want people who have been added to leave the group, then you can say no. If you say yes, then the people who are initially added in the group, they can opt to leave this group. Okay, and then from here you can select whatever permissions you want to select from here. You want to give to this group. So let's say if you want to give an edit permission or contribute, you can give multiple also. So here, since we are giving multiple, so if you give read permission and edit permission, so ultimately the edit permission will be effective for that particular group because this is a higher permission level than read. Okay, so if you give full control, then if anything is selected, then that means it will take the higher permission. So this thing we have to remember, and this is how you create the group. So when you create the group, the owner is added automatically, and from the new, if you want to add users, you can add more users here. Okay, and if you want to remove anybody, then you have to select or do multiple select, and then from actions you can say remove users from the group. Is this understood? Any questions here?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, and if you want to check the user of the permission of the so you can do it from here. Check permission. So let's say I have to check what permissions this guy has, so I can say check now. So this person has no permission. So if Gregory Gregory access the site, it will be shown as access denied. Okay, so these are the permission levels, but you can create your own custom permission levels. So let's say that these things are not fulfilling, and you want to create a different one. So let's say that for this finance we have given read permission, but the thing is what I want is this finance group should have only adding and editing an item permission, but they should not be able to delete anything. Okay, so for that we don't have a permission level. So what we do is we can create one. So the way you do that is go to permission levels. So it will list down all the permission levels which are there. You can add your own permission level. So these are the things which you can just deselect or select. Okay, you can whatever you don't want, you can just keep it blank. Otherwise, uh, whatever you want in this permission, you can select that. This is a very comprehensive list. I'll not go through each one of them. So what I'll do, basically, I can select this contribute because what I want, if you see here what it says, you can view, add, update, and delete list items, right? So what I want is I don't want delete permission. So what I can do, I can inherit from this. Basically, I can copy the permissions here. So how I can do that is I can go to this and then say copy permission levels. So now I can give that permission level is something like contribute no delete, for example. So here I can deselect this list item because I don't want this delete. So everything else I'll just keep it as it is, and I don't want deleting the versions also. I'll just remove this, and everything is fine. And then I can say create. So what it will do is it will create your contribute permission. So now I can use this permission level in any documents. So let's say if I go to this documents, now what happens is whatever permissions I do for the site, it gets inherited in all the lists and libraries. So for example, if I go to sales that we created earlier, if you go to this library permission, so we are now till now we have seen the permissions for the site. Now we'll go to the libraries or lists. So there is a in the library settings we have a separate permissions for this permission and management, and you can go to this permissions for this library. So when you go to this permissions, you'll see all the groups which are there, which is coming from your sites. These are the groups, and you can see this library inherits permissions from its parent, which is this. So what I want for this library, I want finance group to have that permissions, that unique permission that I've created instead of read. So basically what I have to do is I have to override this permission for this particular library from the site. So basically what I can do, I can stop inheriting permissions. Okay, so this option, if I select, it says you are about to create unique permissions for this library. Changes made to the parent will no longer affect this document library. So what we are doing here is we are detaching or cutting the thread from my site to this. So whatever now, if I create a new group on my site, it will not affect this library. So now it says this library has unique permission. At any point of time you want to revert this, you can always say delete unique permission. So what it will do, it will revert the changes. So let's see that. So before going there, what I want is in this finance group, I want that contribute no delete permission level. So I can select and say edit and click on contribute no delete. Now this contribute no delete is higher than read, so it will take this permission level into effect. So okay. So now this particular group will have this contribute no delete. That means the delete button will be disabled for this particular uh, group. So let's say if I add, so let's try to log in with Melissa's this thing, and let's see. How does Melissa sees this level? Okay, So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to log in as Christy, but Christy don't have permission. So what I'll do, I'll go to finance and add Christy also. So when you create your subscription, these are the test users which comes automatically, 25 users. These are, if I try to access the site, it should allow me. Yeah. Just a moment. I don't see a delete button, so do you see this delete button here? Right.
Yes, sir.
Delete is coming because I am the admin and I have all the rights. But if you go to Christie, you don't see a delete button here because there is no permission for Christie. Okay, but I can still go ahead and edit the documents. So there's a difference, and then okay. So if I change it back to contribute, so now what will happen? It should show me delete button for Christie also. See this delete? Okay. So and you're seeing different language here because in Christie's profile I have set the primary language as French. That's why it is translated it after some time. Okay, so that is working. So yeah, our kind of custom permission level is working. So this is how you can create. And if you want to revert it back to what was earlier, you can delete it, and then what it will do, it will maintain that hierarchy again from the site. So it is trying it. So if you see here, it is reverted back to read. So which is which is there in my site. It's coming from the site. So this is how you can manage for the list and library. But you can also manage a list item level listing. Okay, so for now, Christy has read. So Christy should be only able to read this now. So I can't edit now because it is disabled. I can just see. Okay, and okay, so what you can do, you can set permissions for the document or list item level also. So I just go ahead and then I can go to manage access for that particular document or library. Go to advanced. So now we are in the list item level permission settings. Okay. So same thing, it is inheriting from its parent, which is your site, right? So you can stop inheriting, and then you can set the permissions for this particular list item also. So now if I go and then if I edit, and now from read to restricted, contribute, not delete. So if I go again, so now I should be able, Christy should be able to edit this particular document, because for this particular document, permissions have been set. Is it clear, or do you have questions here?
Yes, sir, it's clear. Sir, how can we get to know that 25 users license names, sir? Where can we find them?
You can find them here. This is a SharePoint admin, but if you go to this main admin center, you can find out here in the users section.
Okay,
Active
sir.
users. So you can find all this, and then you can see the licenses also, which has been assigned to each one of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. What else is there? I think this is pretty much it for permissions. Okay. Let's go to the next topic, which are basically the features which are there, which you can use. So first thing is the SharePoint Online Hub sites. So basically, hub sites allows you to organize your sites into. It gives you a parent site basically, okay, of your site collections or your subsites. So for instance, if you see here in this diagram, you have one hub site, which is the front end site for a team site or communication site, whatever you have. So the idea basically of this hub site is a home site where it will give you all the features or aggregation or searching features for all the sites which are underneath this hub site. Okay, and it also gives you a common navigation structure, look and feel, and a search. You can use SharePoint Online Hub sites in Office 365 groups or to organize concepts like team, divisions, resources. So for one such example is for your retail store application. Let's say you have a retail store application and you have different sites for different departments, let's say human resources, training, and announcements. So what you want is basically you want people to work on these sites, but also you want a site where a super user, let's say the CEO or CIO who can see the or everything that is going on in all this three sites. So what is required is we need one single site which can act as a site which can act as a window, and through which the users can go, and then they can go to each site, or you can pull out the information from all this site onto the top level site, which is the retail store, which is nothing but a hub site. Now the hub site will have common navigation branding you can set for your entire application. So if you set a branding here, it will flow to your all the sites which are connected to hub sites. And if you create a news, for example, in training, let's say you have a news, you can publish it, and it will can be seen in the hub sites. So there's a content aggregation that happens out of the box, and you can search. Basically, if you search for any document, for any important human resources document here, it will go and search here, and it will bring the results here. You need not go and access the document on the site. So these are some advantages of hub sites. And by default, all the modern sites are mobile responsive, so you can actually see out of the box that you create. You can check on your mobile also and see how it renders. Okay, so these are some of the things, and these are the main benefit of hub sites. So as we said that there's a shared navigation happens. So how does it happen? So this is the navigation which is set as a hub site, and this is a hub site navigation example. So if you see this one site which is residing inside this hub site, you see the top level navigation which will come from the hub site, and this each site can have its own individual navigation also. Okay, so here you can see there are two ways it renders. One is the mega menu types you see here. This is the mega menu style of rendering, or if you want as a drop down, you can select that as a drop down also. So while setting the navigation, you have that feature of selecting what type of navigation you want. Okay, I think just if you want to see that. So okay. So here you have we have seen how do we create a sites, right? From active sites you can go to and create a site. And if you want to set any site as your hub site, you can do that. So for that you have to click on a site. Let's say this one we have created, and we can register it as a hub site. So this demo site one will act as a hub site, and then uh, if you want to associate any other site inside that, so how you can do that is you can edit that, and in the hub site association you have to select which site you want as a hub site. Okay, so all the sites will come, all the sites who has been registered as a hub site, those names will come here. So you can select it here and then say save. So then just as you say save, that all the benefit of hub sites will come to the sites which are connected. So this is one of my site, and here if you see we have some navigation here. Just I don't think this is a bad example. Let's see this one. It has a lot many menus. So you see here this navigation is particularly coming from the hub site. Okay, and this is the navigation which is specific to this site. So you can edit this and then add more the navigation here. So if you see this start here is basically this which shows on top, and this is how so if you see here there is a gap here, so that means this is a child navigation, and this is a child navigation of this one. Just to show an example, I think let's create here. So you can select it as a link or a label. Label means basically it's a heading. It will not have any, you cannot navigate from there. So let's see here. My name, my I can add more here. So let's say that now I want a navigation. Let's say I'll just give some link here and I'll say have one. This link you can give anything. You can link it to a document. You can whatever URL you give it to navigate. For now, I'm just giving some here, some name. If I say save, you see here my navigation has come. But if I want to make these as a child navigation here, so what I can do is I can edit and I can make as a sublink. So here if you see it will go and sit inside this my menu. There's other options. Let's say that you want to move it up, so you can move it up the order. And if you want to move it down, you can move it down. Promote sublink means if you don't want to come it as a child menu for my navigation, you can, if you promote it, this will become main navigation. Sublink, it will come here. Okay, so it is a child menu. Now what you can also do here is you can enable target audience. So target audience basically mean you want this menu to be visible to a certain people, not to everyone. You can edit this, and here you can audience to target. So let's say that I want uh, audience to target. So any group, any SharePoint group you can give here. For example, let's say, and you can add multiple here. So this the navigation will be only visible to this particular group of people. It will not be seen to everyone. And there's a limit. You can only set 10 groups or 10 people. You can't go beyond that. Okay. For me, it will be all visible because I'm a administrator, so I can see all everything. So you can change the look of the navigation. So for example, if you want it as a cascading, you can set it as cascading. And if you want it as a mega menu style, you can set it as a mega menu style. This is the mega menu. Because of the space crunch, it will by default it will display it as a cascade drop down style. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Going to the next one. So we have something like the for content aggregation. So as I said, associating it to hub site gives the benefit of this content aggregation. So for example, we have a news rollup. So news rollup basically the news published on the sites on either on the hub site or on the sites connected will be automatically rolled up and then shown at the hub site homepage. And there are some different layouts how you can publish the news. So this is one of the examples. So we'll see what are the other things how you can render the news. And then we have associate site. Associate site basically means the site which you have access to or you have visited recently will be shown here. And we have something like highlighted content, so it will display content for the sites on the home page, and this is specific to the logged in user. Okay, so it will display you all the things that you have done, your documents modified, or those kind of things. It will show you for yourself. So these are all available as a web parts. You know how to add a web part, and so you can just try those things out. So we talked about news. So we have something like the organization news. Organization news is basically rendered with this heading on top. If you see the blue mark, news contour. So if something happens, something appears here, that means it's an organization news. And if it doesn't come like this, it means it's a normal news. And we have one feature called news digest. So news digest means you can select a bunch of news and send it as an email to a group of people as a digest. So some clients requires that they have a weekly digest to be sent on for important news to all the people or all the stakeholders. So they can utilize this feature. And what we have now is the news layout. So these are the different ways the news can be rendered. If you see here, this is one way of rendering. This is a list view kind of thing, and then this is a grid view and list view, and this is a carousel. So all these things you can just play around with. So these are the things option which are available to you. Now if I go here, let me go to this. So we have a news here. You see, these are the news web part. So you can see all. And here, if you want to edit and then see what are different layout functionality which are there, you can select here and say edit web part. And you can select here. So in the web part properties, you can select whether you want the news from this site, or you can have a specific site, or which is recommended for the current user. So recommended for current users basically means the news which the current logged in user have access to, it will all be shown. And you see here, this is the different way how you can render. So currently it is a top story. You can select it as a list page, so it will adjust itself. If you have side by side, you can select this. If you want it as a hub style menu news, you can do that. If you want a carousel, and the list news will be coming as a carousel. If you want it as style, then it will come as a style. Also, you can control how many posts you want to show. So currently 5, and then you can further filter how you want this. If you want to say created by somebody, so you can say select user or the current user. You can add more filter to it. So let's say you want a specific title. So I want something like which has a title of news, right? So it will give you all the title which is having a news, and you can keep on adding more filter. And from here you can actually order how the news might come. So if you want to order that, you can do that here. Let me discard this. Okay. So when I discard, so it will go to my previous version, whatever the page was there. This should not work. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's try to create a news. So currently we see we don't have any news here, right? So either I can go ahead and add a new news post, or from here also I can click on the news post. So when I say news post, it will show me it will show me the templates which are available out of the box. So I can show it as a blank, or if you want any visual way you want to display like that, you can do. If you want a basic text, you can do that. So let's create a basic text and then create post. So you can say anything, my news post, and if you want to change the background image, you can do that. Uh, you can control how it comes. Like if you want the image and title, it will come like this. If you don't want image, you can just select this option. If you want this kind of behavior or overlap, you can select this. These are the options which are available, and you can control the way it happens. So if you don't want this, if you want to show the publish date, it will show the publish date. And if you want to show the text above, so you can add text here, and text about title, my text. Okay, and you can change the image. If you're not happy with the image, you can either upload it, or there are some stock images which are available you can use directly. Let's say this one. Okay, and this is about the title and the image, and then you can control the layout here. So you can write text, and then you can make it bold or underline and do all kind of formatting. You can create a link also, and you can do it either this way, or you can do it like that, or I mean there's a different way of how you can format it. So once the formatting and the sections are done, you can also add a web part here, like traditionally. I mean, basically, you can add a web part, or if you want to add a link, you can do all those things here. So once you think that your post is ready, and then you can just say post news. Post, when you say post news, it will publish the news and it will be available in the home page. But if you want to still work on it tomorrow, then you can save it as a draft and come back, and it will be available. Okay, until you don't post it, it will not be available for the other audience. So if you say here draft saved, but if I'm happy with my news, I can say post news. So this will be published. So now if I go to my home page, one news should be available for me. Here it is. I can click on it and then view it, and then I can send it to, I can share it with other email or through Yammer. Those kind of things I can do here. This was about news. And then searching for content. So if you go to the hub site and you search for content, it will show you result like this from all the sites which are connected. That is the benefit of a hub site. And then we have integration with the other community tools which are there. For example, we have Yammer. So we have the Yammer web part where you can show all the conversations for a topic. Okay, and then you can actually share a page on Yammer. Okay, you can send it to Yammer, the option that you have shared. So it will basically, you can start a discussion on that on Yammer. So we have a tight integration with Yammer. Going to the next one, which is global navigation. So if you see, you will see these kind of options there. You will see 4 options, which is, so these 4 options, if you see, if you click on the first one, it is a global navigation. It will show you a top level navigation for the site. Okay, and then if you go to this one, it will show you all the sites which you have access to or which you have followed. The third one is the news. All the news will be aggregated and shown here. You can actually go to the news section from here directly. And the fourth one is the files. So all the files that you have access to or you have worked on or has been shared to you will be listed. Okay. And whatever frequently more file you have created and modified, it will be shown on top. In one of the application that you have, I have told as an assignment, was one of the things is Microsoft Stream. Microsoft Stream is nothing but a new way of storing the videos. So there's a richer way of how you can store the video. So if you notice, all the recordings of this on the teams that we do, it goes to a OneDrive. and that OneDrive can, if you click on the link, it will open the Microsoft Stream application, and you can view the application on that. So this is one of the way which you can use. Another thing which is available is my feeds. My feed is another one web part in which you can see your personal feed. So for example, it's a different way, another way of accessing. So for instance, one way is if you have a meeting, so you can directly show here and join meetings directly from here. If you have opened, if you have seen a video recently, so all the recently viewed videos will be coming in this fashion. And if any news is recommended for you, it will come here, and all the documents which you have worked will come in this section. So this is one out of the box web part which is available for you. We also have integration with Teams, so basically you can enable a SharePoint site to directly be seen inside Teams. So for that you need a Viva connection. So through Viva connection, you can set the home site to be set for all the users in Teams. So when you set that in the Teams, one special icon will come automatically. When you click on this, it will open the home site for that particular user. So instead of a home site, you can also, if you wish, you can add a specific SharePoint site or a specific page also on the quick links.